everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Today we have iceshard007, who has quite a bit to share with us today, which includes some excellent words of wisdom, so let's begin. She begins by saying that, probably like a lot of other artists, she didn't have one shining aha moment when she decided to begin drawing. Instead, it was gradual. She claims to be a bit of an introvert, keeping her own affairs contained, which is why she was attracted to drawing. Things like cartoons, video game art, and just stuff she saw daily helped to inspire her. She wanted to take elements of what she saw and bring the best parts into what she saw in her head. For her, describing visual concepts with just words always felt incomplete, and it still does, which is why she wanted to be able to create images and concepts for character design. She says that she's always enjoyed character and concept art because it is the most dynamic and diverse form, next to abstract art. With concept art, you're free to shape anything the way you want, and it can immediately transmit the concept the piece is built around into the viewer's mind. There's no attempting to describe how it looked in your head. You have the image, you pull it from your head, and you put it on paper for everyone else to see and understand just as you have. To be a little more specific about her love for character design, iceshard007 says she's always found anatomy and motion extremely inspiring. Be it human or not, poses and expressions speak enormous volumes, and the very curvature of those poses and expressions still amaze her. Then there is the other side, which is the visual message. She loves the ability to manipulate anatomy, position, and motion in such a way that with one look at one of her characters, the viewer will feel exactly how she wanted them to feel, and that in turn shapes their understanding of the character as a whole. She says that most of the time, inspiration for specific pieces begins with an interesting chain of thoughts, beginning with a character in a certain situation, going about their business in a certain way, and as a result, they'll respond to said situation in a certain manner. The idea is visually interesting to her, so she attempts to capture it all in an image or two. She says it's a way for her to solidify the idea and can be canonical in a way. She also says that she would switch to animation in a heartbeat if she had the time, since all of her drawings actually originate as animations in her head. She would also create comics, but unfortunately doesn't have the time for that either. However, she says it's also true that she occasionally sees still poses, creatures, forms, and faces instead of a full moving image, and chooses to focus on fleshing out all of the details of one single entity. In the end, it's still about visual description. So after hearing her take on art and inspiration, you may be surprised to hear that she doesn't plan on taking her skill anywhere on a professional level. As of right now, she's a student of philosophy and molecular biology in university. She plans to pursue at the very least a PhD in molecular biology, if not a dual MD PhD. Science, math, and logic are the icons of her true passions, and unfortunately she doesn't plan on devoting much more to art than she does now. She would love to animate and make some long multi-chapter comics, which she's actually been working on since she was 13, and to put that into context, she's now 20. However, there's a lot of things she'd love to do, but she has decided to put off for the time being. Lastly, she leaves us with some pretty damn good down-to-earth advice, which I really appreciate, and will try to refrain from paraphrasing as much as possible. She starts off by saying plainly that if you don't like your art, feel free to stop at any time. If you truly love it, you'll continue anyway. Regarding artistic confidence, just remember that your work is yours, and nobody has to see it if you don't want them to. Sure, it's important to pick out what you believe went wrong in the piece, but also be proud when you notice improvement. Never expect people to comment on the part you worked the hardest on, because that would be a little weird. You'd get comments like, "Oh, the distance between the eyes is perfect," or "Wow, the angle of that foot looks wonderful." They'll probably be less appreciative of your details and ask you about the big picture instead. But if you think about it, when you get comments like that, it means you were successful in conveying an image to someone, and as a result, they want to know more about why it came into your mind. She says lastly, tutorials are God, and copying is God. There's no cheating in drawing unless you're a total dick and steal someone else's artwork and claim it as your own. Everyone at all stages of their career will use reference pictures. However, copy does not mean trace. If you're struggling, pick out what makes your version less appealing or more appealing from the original. Then you'll know what to fix and what to keep doing. She says that tracing can be fine, just pay attention to how the lines move in the image you're tracing. Really think about why they are there, and how they all come together to create the end picture. To put simply, pay attention and learn from it. Tracing mindlessly won't help you in the slightest. And that is all the wisdom iceshard007 has to share with us for today. So don't forget to go and show her some well-deserved support. Thank you all very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.